until death do us part. Do you agree? I agree. Do you agree? Yeah, I agree. Yet, over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Yet, the Bible says, and or not just that, women are the majority of the ones leaving the relationship. What does the Bible say? 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10, I believe it is, and 11 says that if a woman, that Yah says a woman is not to separate from her husband. But if she does, she is to remain single, unmarried, or reconciled with her husband. Is that what happens? Nah, that's going to get married again. Shalom's following Yahshua. Marriage. Western American mindsets versus the Bible. See, when you look behind the word divorce in the Brown Drivers Briggs dictionary, you'll see that the Roman society gave women permission to divorce their husbands. That was a Roman societal rule, which is why this country has become so effeminized. So there's a lack of masculinity. There's a lack of men. And what happens is people try to understand marriage biblically with an American mindset, which will never happen. The American mindset says a woman can get divorced. A woman can go and initiate it. In fact, family law, they had to create a whole system called family law for that, because women are running to court and getting divorced. Why? Because there's no disadvantage for them if they do it. They can go get divorced, get his paycheck, get his children. Yes, I said his children. Because the Bible says you're his possession. That's what the Bible says. This is why it is impossible to have conversations about marriage with people. I'm talking about biblical marriage. Biblical marriage. Marriage from the Bible. That could be monogamy, that could be polygyny. Because biblical marriage is not just about monogamy and polygyny. It's about submission, subjection, order in the home. That's all biblical marriage. People tend to focus on the monogamy and polygyny part, but the whole gamut, structure, order, that's why the Bible talks about it so much. But the reason why marriage doesn't work in today's modern society is because it has become modernized. We have people who want to read the Bible and they're trying to explain everything. They're trying to explain what submission means, what subjection means, what reverence means. Read the book of Ephesians. Read Ephesians 5. It tells you, sisters, to reverence your husband. That's what the Bible says. See, the reality is we're starting to find out that people don't really love the Bible. They don't really love it. They don't really like it at all. They like parts of it. They like majority of this Western culture. We're talking about the four brothers today. We're talking about our homes, polygyny, and marriage, and things like that. Come to find out that a large majority of women today are not ready to be married. Why? Because they've ingrained themselves, and they're probably never going to be ready to be married. Why? Because they've ingrained themselves into this Western culture. Majority of men are not ready to be married because they have ingrained themselves into this Western culture. Nothing is more bamboozling than men who are talking about marriage who don't have any stability in their life. They don't have a stable place where they live. They don't have a stable job. They don't have, or business. They don't have any of that. Women want marriage, but they want it under a biblical / Western American culture. They want it. They want to have both. They want both of them. I was talking with the four brothers. We were really getting into it. And I was saying, there's some new criteria I'm about to have. See, people say when they look at Zion, they look at Rip, oh, they're so happy. I would love to have that. See, but that happiness comes with a cost. They have to lose their American, independent, individual mindset, head rolling mindset. Now, I had somebody ask me, why can't a woman go get a job first and do this first and do that first? Because the Bible, show me in the Bible where it says that. Show me where it says wives. In fact, I'm going to prove it to you. Read Titus chapter 2. Nowhere in Titus chapter 2 does it tell the older women and teach the younger women how to have a career. You don't read that in the book. That's the American mindset. That's the embracing of the American mindset. Where do you see in Timothy, 2 Timothy, or 1 Timothy chapter 5, all right, verse 6, where it tells the younger women? Where do you say anywhere where it says younger women get a career? In fact, it says have children, guide the house, get married, have children, guide the house. That's what it says. So where are these new mindsets coming from? The whole point of these new mindsets is to take away the order that Yah has for the house. See, it's very hard for Western Americanized people to understand biblical marriage, submission, because they don't like it. Well, my marriage has worked, and I this, that, and then she's got a good man. Great. There's a lot of people in this world who have great men and don't live a lick of the Bible. Just because something works in this system doesn't mean it's Yah's way. People tend to think that because something works, it's Yah's way. Well, look, LeBron James is a millionaire. He said, thank God. See, that's why I want to be a basketball player. Which we're going to have to play basketball on Sabbath. Doesn't matter. We got marriages of people who are complete pagans, complete heathens. Married 80 years. Didn't do it Yah's way. Just because it worked doesn't mean it's Yah's way. In fact, the Bible says, because wickedness is not punished expediently, it is fully set in a heart of man to do wicked. Because we don't see punishments come down immediately, we think, oh, we can do it that way too. And then we start using those as the examples. Well, it worked for them. But you said you're innocent. You said you're separate. You said you're set apart, which is what holy is. Yah said he's coming to get a holy people, not to get any old people. Are you a holy people? Or are you just a people? There is so much madness and so much confusion when it comes to marriage today. And this is the reason why. People want to embrace both sides, Western, American, and biblical. And they're trying to mix it all together like they're trying to mix water and oil. And guess what? The oil is always going to separate and float to the top. It don't work. It don't matter how bad you try. So you can float your American ideology all you want to. Well, I don't see anything wrong with it. That's because you're American. Just admit it. You embrace this Western culture. Just admit it. Yah's way of doing things comes second. The biblical way, the Hebraic way of doing things comes second to you. Admit it. So when I look, well, what are you looking for? You got to have a biblical mindset. And I'm sorry, most don't have that. While that woman's chasing her career and waiting to get married, she's also testing the waters at the same time. She may not tell you about it, but how many times? 70% of women of color have children outside of wedlock. Why? Because I guarantee you they probably had an idea. Oh, I'm going to go in and get this going and get that going and get this going and get that going. Then when I'm done, I'm going to get married. But while you're out there testing the waters, while you're out there, you're learning what you want to do. So by the time it comes around for you to be married, you're no longer marriage material. You're firm, you're ardent, you're stiff-necked, you're hard-hearted, all the things the Bible says, hard, stiff, rigid, not movable. If the Bible says that a resemblance of marriage is the Messiah in the church, and we're supposed to be the clay, so a marriage on earth is Messiah, church, man, wife. It's the same resemblance. Well, doesn't Messiah want a malleable church, a church that isn't stiff and firm, like, yeah, we're just going to do our own thing? He called us stiff-necked for that. Hard-hearted because of that. He tried to remove the heart of stone and put in a heart of flesh, a heart that is moldable. He is the potter, we are the clay. Guess what, sisters? The husband is the potter, you are the clay. So when these women come around these marriages and they're 35, 40 years old, 30 years old, and they got a career and they got what they want. And that man comes in and says, listen, we're not, you ain't doing that. That's not what we're doing. I spent 15 years. I spent 5 years in college. Get this job. The Lord gave me this job. The Lord gave it to me. Keep the job then. You ain't going to get me. Because the Bible doesn't tell me to submit to you or your job. The Bible doesn't say that you have authority because you got a good job. The Bible says you are to be in submission. You just want to keep women low. You just want to keep women low. How was it low when I'm the one going to work and the sisters get the opportunity to be at home, be safe, raise the children? The sister doesn't have to raise the children. They get to raise their own children. They get to be in protection. They don't have to deal with the sin of this world. They don't have to deal with all this crap. I'm the one that goes and deals with that. They are the weaker vessel, so I treat them and I give honor to them as such. Some of this crap is just damn playing hard even for a man to do. And I'm gonna stick my wife out there and tell her I love her. Go to work, I love you. Stay in the city, I love you. Have no protection around you, I love you. Be around the heathen all day long, I love you. I know you're set apart and you're holy, but stay around them, I love you. Yeah, right. So I brought mine out. And now Ripka, you hear her testimony. She was in Atlanta and now she's out. We're going to be fighting to try to have the rights of men. I want to have a job. I want to go to work. Okay. That's nothing that my house needs. You can go ahead and do that then. Cause I got to make sure I got to have my own. Well, if you were the righteous man and you're doing your job, guess what? A righteous man, the only thing he's going to do is love you and care for you and nurture you and love you and care for you and give his life for you and love you and love you and love you and love you. That's all he's going to do. Don't believe me? Ask the 4 brothers. Ask Brother David. Ask Brother House of Colette. Ask them. See, but you're not going to come into my house running your own program. It's like a doggone computer. A computer only has one operating system in it. Now, you can't partition a hard drive to run 2 operating systems, but even then, a lot of times that ends up bad for your computer. You end up experiencing random crashes trying to run Windows and Linux. So let's say you have a single hard drive, which is what a man is, a single person. There's only one program being ran. If you come in with your own program, your own hard drive, this is the system I'm running, it ain't gonna work. We're running what I'm running. I have a vision that y'all gave. Well, I got a vision too. Go run your own vision then. See, women have taken under the protection of a system. Why are you men always talking about submission? Why does the Bible talk about it? Why are you asking me for? Why is your problem what the Bible says? Your problem is what the Bible says. I want to talk about submission. I want to talk about what they're doing. You see, because I don't want to talk about what I'm doing. I just go do it. I'm just going to go do it. That you heard me start off with. Is men, if you ain't taking care of yourself, if you ain't got your stuff together, you ain't got somewhere to live, a place to lay your head, why are you talking about wives? And you can't provide food, clothing, and covering, and conjugal rights, why are you talking about it? You see, women don't want to hear that. Let's focus on what the man's doing. No, let's focus on the fact that the Bible, in every instance where it talks about what a man is to do and a woman's to do, it talks about what the woman's supposed to do first. Let's talk about that. Why are you going to talk about the women's submission? Yeah, I expect Jezebel to be bothered by that. Let's shift the focus back on the man. Shift it on me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Here, a lot of these comments always come from women who are single. You look at the Daughters of Sarah chat room, the chat on WhatsApp they got. You have wives, and all of them are talking about submission. All of them are talking about how, and guess what? Those husbands are happy and are becoming happier. Why? Because the women are not concerned about what his job is. In fact, the Bible tells you, woman, you can win him over by your chaste conversation, by your lifestyle. You will win him over without the word. But see, today women want to run their mouth because their life ain't showing nothing. They ain't got no fruit in their life other than money. Money. All they got is money. Half the time the money comes from the government, comes from baby daddies. I got my own job. I make my own money. Money. That's the only fruit you got. But your life has none. Your life, what you live. Because if money's fruit, then damn, LeBron James got a lot of fruit. Thus saith Yah. P. Diddy got a lot of fruit. Thus saith Yah, because money's a fruit. No, what is your life? What are your children? What do you have to show for what you're doing in your life? I mean, when does the Bible ever say, women, wives, worry about your husbands? In fact, the Bible says you're not even supposed to usurp your authority over a man. Why are you worried about his job for? When do you ever see the employee worry about the CEO's job? And that employee don't ever usually last very long, because he's too busy trying to run his own system. The Bible tells the man to nourish and cherish his wife, not woman nourish her husband. Nourish, bring up. That's what nourish means, to bring up to maturity, which means, your sister, you ain't at maturity yet. It's up for the man. The husband is to help bring her up to maturity. But if you already mature and already got your stuff and got everything you need, then what? Where's the bringing up happen? Oh, you talking like one of them. You just want to roll a woman. Why are Zion and Rivka smiling so much? Why are they so happy? If I just want to roll a woman, wouldn't it be advantageous for me to send them to work? Put them on food stamps and cash aid so I can sit back and play Madden? Wouldn't that be advantageous for that? Instead of busting my ass to make sure that they have the opportunity to stay home and raise the family, as the Bible says. Raise the home, guide the children, as the Bible says. Again, I told you, we're about to hit this marriage. We're about to hit marriage. And I'm going, gloves off, and can't wait for Tabernacles, because me and the four brothers are about to have some real talk, some real live streams. These Tabernacles coming out, we're about to handle some things. Here, men who are unapologetically men, not these Gillette, oh, stop bullying, oh, stop, you need to talk nicely, oh, you gotta, that high-pitched pussy voice. Yes, I do understand that, well, women are gonna want you. Cool. I'm fine with that. I know one thing, if somebody seeks to join my house, though, you better know we got order in my house. Unapologetically order. And you know what? It lets them sisters feel safe, because they don't have to worry. They don't have to do it all by themselves. I'm independent. They gotta be independent. In fact, the Bible speaks against independence. Read the book. Tribalism. That's not independence. Communities. That's not independence. In fact, in Ecclesiastes, it says, two is better than one. That's not independence. I'm independent. I do it my own way. I got my own way. That's why the Bible says what it says in Isaiah. The problem is that this system has allowed, this matriarchal system has allowed and covered the mistakes that women make. Men, your mistakes are put on Front Street. A male teacher can molest a female student, and guess what? He get the book thrown at him. A woman has sex with a male student. Oh, we're gonna give her a year of probation. Oh, we're gonna give her 6 months in jail. Did they do the same thing? It's sad. It is sad. But hopefully, this will free one sister or two sisters who are truly wanting to live the Bible and be that woman that the Bible says. Not afraid to call your husband master. Why she call? The Bible says nobody's supposed to call you master. Then what is 1 Peter 3 talking about when it says, and Sarah called Abraham master, whose daughters you are? It says Lord in the King James Version, which translates to master. But see, people don't look behind the word master. They don't study at all. They just go off of, because that's what they're taught in this society. Be dumb on purpose. It looks good. Yeah, it looks good if you trying to be a hoe. And you want to find yourself a nigga. Have a blessed day. It's coming. It's only gonna come harder. And the more subs I lose, don't bother me. What that means is that it's the clearing of the crop. It's a skimming away of those that aren't really about it. So that those that are about it can really be about it. Just like I said, and I said before, we need all the hoes to get with all the niggas, so that all the righteous women and righteous men can find each other. Bless you. Shalom.